Hey, how's it going guys? My name is Abyss, and in today's video I've got a Xuan guide with everything you need to know from her value to your account, her kit, relics, icons and more. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves though, let's just talk about who she is firstly. She will be your sustain unit if you decide to pick her up. Being a sustain unit means keeping the team alive and being the backbone of the team, and she does that really well. But it doesn't stop there. She's also capable of buffing the team, which makes her an even better addition to your roster. Firstly, I just want to talk about her value to your account. So if you're in the early game, she's an immensely useful sustain unit. She isn't a damage dealer and mainly needs HP relics, so it won't be an issue to really build her up. Any kind of content you're going through, she can tank, and she can keep your team alive very comfortably on her own. You don't really need a healer. She has very low skill point consumption. Her basic rotation is just to use her skill and then use her basic twice and then use her skill on the third turn again. For those of you that are free to play, she's also very comfortable. If you have 2 limited sustains already, then I don't think you really need Xuan. But for those of you that maybe feel like you don't have great relic substats, you know, you're lacking in a better crit rate or something, she's great for that. As long as your skill point management is fine, there is a permanent uptime of 12% crit rate that she provides with her skill. And for those of you in the end game, I probably don't need to tell you, but I will anyway. The crit rate is... And a little note to any of you that are like light spenders or anything, I would recommend going for the S1, so her light cone. I think it's really just... it's like the cherry on the cake, but we'll go into light cones a bit later on in the video. Okay, so how does she work? Well, I'm glad you asked. With her basic attack, it's just regular basic like every other character, do a bit of damage, happens to be quantum because she's a quantum character. Next up is her skill. I would say this is her main priority. This puts up a field where it can transfer most of the damage that any ally takes straight to Xuan. This field that she puts up also gives the team 12% crit rate, and increases their max HP by a percentage of Xuan's max HP. When you unlock her A2 and her A6 trace, she gains 20 more energy whenever she uses her skill, whilst her skill is still up, so on her third turn. And her A6 trace gives a full effect res buff for the team when she uses her skill, so for that turn, they don't take any crowd control kind of effect. Next up is her talent. I'd say this is her second most important thing. This allows her and the team to take reduced damage, and whenever she falls below 50% HP, she'll heal herself up to almost full. Lastly is her ult. This isn't too important really. It does a bit of damage and restores 1 stack of her talent. When it comes to recharging the amount of stacks that she gets, upgrading it doesn't change anything. When you do upgrade the level of it, all it does is change the damage that it does. And you can see those charges right under her little picture in like the team comp thing. If you're wondering how to play her, it's very simple. There's only 2 things you really need to know, and even then it's not that big of a deal. They're probably things you'll do naturally anyway, but I'll just say it just in case. When it comes to her ultimate, you just want to use that whenever you can, that you feel like you need to get a stack. It's a little bit of a waste to use it whilst you already have 2 stacks, so if you're going to take a large amount of attacks and probably go under 50% HP, you can wait until she heals herself up again and then she loses a stack and you can gain it with the ult. If you don't think this is going to happen really soon, then just use your ult so you're not wasting energy. As for her skill, just make sure it's always up. It's once every 3 turns. When the field starts to glow, like it will flash kinda, I'll show it on the screen. So it will flash. That's basically the warning to you that it's going to run out the next turn. Now for the relics. This is probably my favorite thing about Xuan when it came to like farming for her. 2 of her best relic sets, like 2-piece, you can get from the same cavern. So that is the 2-piece Longevous, 2-piece Hackerspace. It gives her HP and speed, which is what she mainly needs. For pure defense, then you'll run 2-piece Longevous and then 2-piece Wuthering Guard. I did see people once saying that, you know, the healing set, the outgoing healing one, whatever it's called, is decent. Don't use that, trust me, it's really not worth it. And as for your planet ornaments, it's relatively simple as well. You've got 2 main options. One is Fleet of the Ageless and the other is Broken Keel. Both of them are pretty good. The effect res is nice for the Broken Keel set, and you get to give 10% crit damage to the whole team. As for the Fleet of the Ageless, it's just nice for having some extra HP. However, I think farming this isn't worth it, and it's much more efficient to go for the Broken Keel set. You know, the times have changed, no more time for World 3. Who does that? On your body piece, you're gonna want HP. For your boots, you're gonna go... fuck's sake, bro. It's so hard to say these words. Anyway, for your... fuck. Anyway, so for your I can't actually do this. Okay. Body, you want HP. Boots, you want speed. Orb, you want HP. Rope, you want ER. I really don't know why I struggled so much. Okay, now that we got through that mess, for your stat checkpoints, aim for around 6.5k HP. If you can go higher than that, that's much better. For your defense, around 1.5k is pretty good. Speed, 134 or higher as well, that's fine. And then for your energy regeneration, at least 19.44, so an energy regen rope. Now for the light cones. Her signature is obviously her best one. This is actually the most OP signature like light cone I think I've ever seen. Other than like maybe Ron May, but this one's crazy. It gives her a huge amount of HP, so the highest base HP any light cone has. The only other light cone that has as much base HP is an abundance one that is Bailu's. Her signature gives her huge amounts of HP, energy regen, and anytime she loses HP, so whenever anyone on the team gets attacked, the whole team gets a 9% damage boost for 2 turns. So basically this is up permanently, and every wave she will restore HP to all allies by 80% of what was lost. For your other light cone options, just as a reminder, you do not need her signature. She works perfectly fine without it. I just want to mention how cracked it is anyway. But yeah, other light cone options, we've got Moment of Victory, so that's Japard's light cone. High base HP and defense, gives her 48% defense in total because she is getting hit a lot, and just a good stat stick in general. Another one to mention is Texture of Memories. It gives her effect res and provides a small shield upon being hit. It has high HP, that's basically all there is to it. And then we've got some 4-star ones. So Trend of Universal Market is actually one I don't see recommended often. I think it's quite good just for the base HP, and it gives a defense buff. Her only scaling is HP, to be honest, so having that is always welcome, and it's as much HP as like a 5-star light cone has, excluding, you know, her signature. And as for the last two, Landau's Choice and Day 1 of My New Life are both decent light cones for her. Both of them provide a little bit of extra survivability for your team. Speaking of teams, her team comps as a sustain unit don't really matter that much. She especially pairs well with the characters that need HP, so Blade, Clara, and any DPS that is a crit scaling one. Crit rate's always useful there. Dual DPS team comps are also really nice for her, so Ratio and Topaz, so she can give crit rate, or Himiko and Herta for like Pure Fiction or something like that. If you do want to run Mono Quantum, she's also a great sustain unit for that. Lastly, let's just go over Eidolons. So first up, E1 gives 30% crit damage to the whole team. E2 basically lets her have a revive, so anyone that gets down during the same attack, they will all get rezzed. Her skill does need to be up for this though. I think E1 is a good stopping point, but we'll go over the rest as well. Her E4 lets her gain a little bit more energy whenever anyone else is attacked and her field is up. Her E6 turns her into DPS basically. It keeps a tally of the total HP lost by all your team members. Her ult will do 200% of this tally, and it's capped at 120% of Fu Xuan's max HP. Every time she uses her ult, it does reset. So yeah, that's about all you need to know for Fu Xuan. If you're wondering whether to go for E1 or S1, I would say S1 for sure. Her light cone's really cool to just have. It's a big comfort kind of thing. It's not needed. She performs just fine without it, but it's very comfortable to have. And the crazy HP buff is also nice, giving max HP buff and having high base HP. And just for some closing thoughts, I think she still keeps up really great to this day. The crit rate is so nice to have. She's super easy to build. All you need is HP and some speed. But yeah, mostly HP. That's it. You can stack up defense on her. Basically all the kind of substats that you usually get, just throw them on her. Alrighty, that does it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment if you're pulling for Fu Xuan. I'd love to know. Maybe you're gonna skip and you're gonna go for someone else. I've forgotten to do this for some of my other guides, but if you ever have any questions, feel free to join my Discord or leave a comment. I will gladly answer it, or someone else will beat me to it. I don't want you to feel embarrassed or anything for not knowing stuff. Everyone can learn, so don't feel worried about it or anything. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.